here, tapping, tap, 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 tap. And we're here, and we're like, okay. All right. Okay, Joe, not Jim. I'm going to walk through the entire new furnace workflow and all the options you have. I'm going to go through the guided workflow. In general, it definitely takes less than half an hour, and that's to do a full, complete analysis, combustion analysis, ambient CO, all that kind of stuff. There may be some additional time to walk through the house, and I'm not including here, but in general, this is actually nuts to bolts, start to stop from the very beginning. So hey, this is Joe, not Jim. Here we go. So I'm recording my screen so we can see that also, and thanks for a bid for awesome editing. So we're going to start here and start the project. I'm on the home screen right now. Navigation's all across the bottom here. We're on the home screen, and we're going to hit start project. At the top are your guided workflows, right? At the bottom are your non-guided workflows. So there is a heating, furnace, service, and install. That's all now one workflow, whether you're guided or non-guided. And I'm going to walk you through the guided. There's not much of a difference, but it just kind of moves you through the whole process of what to do versus kind of hunting and pecking is what it is. If you don't want it, you're welcome to use any one of the workflows you want. So the workflows are something that is part of our Premier services as well as the AI Profiler. A lot of stuff is built in here to really get your money's worth. The heating profile right now has actually come a long way. We have actually done major improvements to make this something that is very similar to the cooling workflows. They are solid and ready to work for you. Okay, so I am going to select the gas furnace. The first thing it says, have you been here before? Pick that or new site. I have been here before, but I'm going to pick the new site. It'll walk you through the whole process that we're looking for. Okay, so over here on this side, notice I have the split screen that's set up in the settings. And over here is telling you what we're going to do. If you're looking for a primer, want to learn more about the furnace, that'll take you out to Brian Orr's HVAC school. Great resource. Next, these are the probes that you need and are optional. So at the top, I do need my total thermostatic. That's what I'm using for my two field piece manometers. I do have pressure inlet and manifold. Those are my JB probes. And I also do have my induced draft. That's my yellow jacket. All those have been already brought into my app. If you're using this regularly, this is what you just do. Pull them out, make your connection, everything's on, ready to go. I do have an electrical meter, and I do have the Sauerman combustion analyzer. Now you do not need any analyzer, or I'll try that again. And I also have a Sauerman combustion analyzer. Any analyzer will work. You can manually enter any analyzer. If you do not have an analyzer, that's okay. There's a setting in here about how to set up the test. I have no analyzer, and we don't even have those steps or those fields for you at all. You can still do the actual ambient CO with your portable device. Great call. Right, where is it? And just like that, there it is. I will clip it to my belt so it doesn't get in my way as I'm talking to you. So, you got it, it's on. Okay, we're rolling. You can use this device to actually do your ambient CO. Okay, next, we're good. Everything's on because the workflow will make sure you have everything on. It doesn't have to be connected, it has to be on, so later we don't prompt you with your tools are missing. Here's your first button at the top. We're saying click here to get started. It says, okay, is the power on or off? We want you to start by having the power off. So I already did my visual inspection real quick. I already took off the cover. I took a picture of the data plate on the furnace. I went outside to check for any other issues. And took a picture of that data plate, looking for anything that would actually impact my system now or even when I come back in the spring, indoor, outdoor. I also did a visual quick assessment for other obvious conditions. Filter was good, lower motor was clean. Anything else I need to know about before I really dig into it or would cause me to make me stop the inspection while I've started. Everything seems to be good. You can even take a bunch of pictures ahead of time and then upload them when you're ready to do your pictures. A lot of great options here to have you move kind of quickly through your process. So you want to do a walkthrough and get your AI profiler, you can do that in the beginning. You can also do all your pictures in the beginning or do them now as we're going. So, okay. it is on because I want to kind of move through this process. So think about this: as I did a test and we had a challenge. I got a phone call. I had to redo the test. So it's on. Everything is now very stable. It's a good way to do the process because I already did my visual inspection. Next, here's our little simple stuff about making sure that we have the site, the client, and other basic stuff set up, ready to go. So the site name is where I'm at. So I'm over at the Stevens Supply doing my training, so I can see that's correct. You can also alter that address if there's something that you need to do. First floor, second floor, incorrect, you can change it. Enter your customer information. You can skip this now, or you definitely want to put something in if you can because it's going to be on the report. So first name was Jay, last name maybe it's Smith. Okay, great. All right, we got that. And if the address is the same as where you're at for billing, you can do that. Great. So AI System Profiler has come a long way. We have really dialed this in. For some reason, sometimes it's like, it didn't work well. Just redo it. Put the pictures back in. It's all good to go. So we're going to get our pictures from the library. Remember, I did my walkthrough. I took my pictures of the indoor unit, data plate, and the outdoor unit. So I'm going to go to my library, and I'm going to grab those photo, and that photo is my indoor and outdoor. At the top, I say OK. When I click this, I just going to remind you that you have to give it some information. You have to tell it what type of system it is. So this is a cooling with a gas heat. So whatever type of system it is, we're specifically looking for those fields in these data plates. So important you know what it is we're looking for to help us. So we're saying, okay, it is a cooling with gas heat, right? Got it? On button. And now I hit AI System Profiler on. So we're diving into the details. Here we go. This actually comes back to MeasureQuick. This is not some random GBT Elemental P process. We're very specific about what we're doing. It comes back to us, send it back to you, and there you go. Maybe 20 seconds is kind of a long time to actually go back to an AI profiler, and everything you're looking for is already built in, indoor and outdoor. So this helps a lot for when I come back in the springtime, my outdoor equipment is already put in here. So this is a system, indoor and outdoor unit, it's all ready to go. Okay, and we're looking, we're going, we're going to call it a short edit here in the video there, okay? Taking longer than normal, it's okay, we're going, we're moving. This will be my triggers, and okay, we'll start back from here, and there you go. I believe we have a success, yay! My outdoor unit, it's got the year, make, model, and serial number. I can also search for manuals, all right? That is a major play for a lot of people. They're trying to figure out, do I have to clock the meter? Guess what? You do, according to your manual. I got my tonnage correct, everything I'm looking for. I always check my manufacturer rated TDSB. So this somehow ended up on 2, and it should be 0.5. Trust but verify. Many of these numbers are usually pretty safe, but in general, you just want to confirm because you don't want to get into the test and find out that your static is way off because the profile is way off. Everything that MeasureQuick is going to compare or do is based upon the profile, all right? Bad profile, bad measurements. Bad pro placement, bad measurements. Those two things, proper pro placement and proper profiling, are the keys to successful MeasureQuick. Okay, so I'm scrolling down. I got my air handler. I got my furnace. I check my numbers. Everything looks good. Orifice size is either in solid numbers or it's in my drill size. 35, 65. My rated TSB again kind of got weird there. Up there it's 0.5. Say okay, it came from another area that I adjusted. Notice that your efficiency and your rated output are connected. One of them has got a calculator. If it finds one, it calculates the other. Over here on this side over here, notice I got some icons. These are the icons of all the things that it had found as part of its AI profiling, right? So this system, as many trainers are, when I go to do training at other locations, it's actually propane. It's not natural gas. That's okay. A lot of homes are propane. So what we did was we allowed you to just select a different fuel type. Oops, sorry, I got cancel a different fuel type. There we go. Propane, and it's going to change the pressures. So I'll cancel to make sure we see this. So my minimum, maximum, and nominal manifold are 4, 10, and 3.5. When I select natural gas, go to propane, it just changed to 11, 13, and 10. These are some of the most common numbers we have. If those numbers are different from your orifice size or other control you have, then you just change the pressures. All right, so we got that. I'm going to scroll down. I do have my electrical information, and I'm going to enter my information about the filter. So this filter is a 16 by 24 by 1. You need the filter size in order for us to give you fan face filter velocity, something like that. We can try it again. You need the filter size to give you filter face velocity. We're going to tell you whether or not your filter is really too small for the size you need for the amount of airflow that's moving across. Okay, you want more information about your primary filter, you can do that. I'm going to hit continue. So now my AI profiler is done. The last one is, where is the equipment? This is very specific when you do cooling. It's outdoor, where's it out on the house? You can also do the same for a furnace. I'm at a training facility, but I can say, well, actually, I think we're over here, and you can even label this first floor, second floor, up on the information. So if you have multiple units, you can label them as such. Maybe it's unit B, Daikin 76321. Okay, we're good. So I got all of these green check marks over on the side. You now know we do have information buttons here to help you with information as to what they do and what they are. We really have dug into what it is we think you need to be a better technician and use MeasureBrain. Okay, we're on to next. So this is our test setup. This is allowing you to determine whether or not you're going to do a combustion analysis, whether you have the Sauermann or not, or you have any combustion analyzer. You actually can manually enter those. You also can do the ambient CO if you have an analyzer. Don't have an analyzer, take that off, and then you still can do your ambient CO with your portable device. Don't have that, then guess what? All of these measurements or requirements are eliminated from the workflow. We're going to use them today. So there we go. If you want to see more or less in the grid view, that's what this button does. Right now, you're going to see all of the combustion analysis measurements in the grid view. Too much information, that button will reduce that. So this visual pre-inspection is crucial to making sure that you documented the conditions over there today in case anything happens in the future or there's a problem. You're dealing with life safety issues here with carbon monoxide and other issues, so you need to make sure that you read this. We now added these what to inspect sections of the app. All of them have this, and you can now pick whether there's no issues or level of the thermostat. Anything you did that's part of the process, you're going to document this. All of these conditions would show up on the report of anything you selected. And now you can see all the things that are in Jim's brain. He's dumped them out here and said, oh, these are things I should be evaluating. We've really completed your process as to what it is you need to be checking off. Air filtration. One of the ones that I want to point out that to me is super important is I go down to the venting system. These are one things that you really can, right now while you're looking at it, evaluate the venting system, whether there's a hot water tank next to it, whether you're in a laundry room with a dryer, all kinds of things are impacting your venting system. Is there an abandoned orphan hot water tank? It seems to be verified with the size, the proper pitch, the supports, all of these kind of things and determinations from outside are all things that are visually accessible, and I've actually confirmed those. I'm going to go ahead and say I completed my process. It may take a little longer, and again, I already did some of this when I did my walkthrough, and now I'm going to complete my notes that I have. So zeroing manometers, there's a photo over here, a little icon that shows me how. The field piece and the JB are a touching of a button. The yellow jacket and the Testo require you to go to the app and actually hit the zero button for the easiest process. You can go here and actually go to Toolbox or Show Me How, that's what the picture did, and you must hit yes. It does not zero your probes, it's just reminding you to zero the probes. Okay, now we're going to connect to the, connect my probes and connect the analyzer. So my analyzer is already on. I've already went ahead and connected it. I was ahead of the curve. If not, it's as simple as doing add, finding the Sauermann, and hitting connect, and then remind to make sure it's on and connected. So there is a picture over here also on next to my deployed probes that's showing you where to put your static pressure probes. It's for a furnace. So after the filter and before the coil, that's what the picture is here. It's also reminding you that I've already got my other probes deployed. I have two psychrometers, two JB psychrometers, and I have one in the supply register nearest the air handler, nearest the furnace, and it is inside the register, so I don't get entrainment issues in front of that grill. So it's inside of it. That's what the picture is here. And then I also have the filter, dominant filter, wherever that is. We prefer something probably upstairs for better consistency, and that could be on the face, but your supply must be inside the grill, the register itself. Okay, install info, it is optional, you can skip it, but in general we're looking for stuff like where are your ducts located. If you want it to give you a good temperature split, we need to know where your ducts are and what's exposed to in the attic or wherever those are. Continue, enter electrical info. We did this in the beginning, but maybe you want to confirm that your motor's correct or other stuff. It's good to go. And photo documentation issues. So here, if I'd already taken photos in the beginning, I could just go upload to the library, and I'm looking for pictures that fit. Like, okay, I can find that system that's there. Like, all right, I want to capture the outdoor unit or indoor unit, just something to show you what I've got. Okay, and done, and add. So those are showing up under control system. You can decide where they are allocated. Ultimately, they're all going to end up in the report. You can talk to your clients about them. If you want to take a picture, I can take a photo, point it at the thermostat, and hit go and use picture. Okay, save photos. You can take as many photos as you want. We're not limited on any amount of photos. And I definitely would take a picture of the inside unit, outside unit, just some stuff to show when we were there, these were the conditions. That kind of stuff is a CYA that is very valuable later in life. Okay, I got all of the green check marks. I'm good to go. So now I have the next part of that. Now we're hey, let's turn it on. It is already on. That's okay. You can decide if you want to turn things on or off as we request. It's a safety way to play, but you determine. We don't know if it's on or off. It's up to you. But right now, we want it to be on. It is on. We want you to make sure that the furnace is operating. Furnace is on. Yes, it's on. And we're on to the next. This is our meat and potatoes right here. This little section is what we're going to do to confirm most of the measurements that we need. So let's start with turn the analyzer on. It is on. Way to go. That's good to go. We're going to use it for our ambient seal inspection. So we're going to start the pump. It's now going to connect to the analyzer. And now what I'm going to be doing is telling my client that I'm going to go around and check for any kind of safety risks or carbon monoxide throughout the house. I'm going to go to a variety of rooms, including the kitchen, the garage, laundry room, even their master bedroom. Is that okay? And is there anybody else in the house? Are there any rooms I really shouldn't go to? Or any other animals or something I don't want to let out? All those are kind of clear questions to let them know. I can actually go to the house, or they tell throughout the house, or they tell me, really, I don't want you to go into that room, and that's okay. While I'm walking through the house, I remind people to make sure you're looking for other gas appliances, like maybe there's a fireplace or two that are on, or they're baking bread, or the gas dryer is running. Anything else that can do that. If you want to make sure you don't have an issue with a water tank kicking on, you can just turn it to pilot and leave your keys there, because otherwise you'll go home and it'll still be on pilot, and a day later they're asking, why do I have cold water? So as I'm doing my walkthrough, I'm checking. So I'm going to activate the first one. So it's looking for any type of carbon monoxide issues as I'm doing all my rooms, checking. This is a 3 to 5 minute process, and that's about reality if you really want to walk through the whole house and check some of those areas. I definitely want to make sure I'm in laundry rooms, kitchens, garages, that kind of stuff. And I hit capture. Good. Now I'm going to go to my return. So the return is someplace where I want to make sure I add the return for the system. So I go find a return near the furnace, and I'm checking in that. And 3 to 5 minutes. Sometimes you will feel as though that's a long time, but you really want to make sure that the system has been running for a while and you've got a good analysis. Okay, that was a pretty quick 3 minutes. And I hit capture, still 0. That's good to go. I'm going to activate it for my supply system. And here I'm going to find a supply near the actual furnace itself. I'm in the supply. All is good. I'm doing my count. And 3, 2, 1. Try and think of something, see if there's some questions. I'm also evaluating other stuff in that room. Okay, that was another 3 minutes. And I hit capture. If for some reason any one of these numbers was above 9, you're going to get an alert. Above 35, you get a different alert. Above 70, you get an extreme alert reminding you and anybody in the house needs to get out, call the fire department. All those are based on BPI standards, and we've actually done a great job of alerting you when those things have actually happened. Okay, and I hit submit. Now it stops the pump, it clears out some gases, we're good to go. Now I got my pressure measurements. All of the measurements that I got down here, so I do have the field piece doing my static pressure. That's my supply and my return. I also, those were in the illustrations I had. The other ones I've got a JV doing my inlet and my manifold pressure. So those are actually doing my 2 pressures here. And then I also do my induced draft with a yellow jacket. Notice that I can mix or match whatever type of manometers I have. to make this work. So it's a real simple way. You're not limited by any one manufacturer to do a variety of pressures. Okay, and we're going to do, I don't need to hit captures, I can just hit submit. And it's going to keep those measurements all constantly in the background. So in case something changes, it's going to be using that in the future for our measurements. Clocking the meter. You do not have to clock the meter. You can just hit skip and move on. We do encourage you to make sure you're setting the manifold pressure for a natural gas unit to 3.5. It's a nice middle of the road, 3.2, 3.8. 3.5 will give you really solid readings from there on. If for some reason you were out of that range, then it's going to kind of be a challenge. You're going to get dinged in your final report in your score. So set it to 3.5, skip the clocking of the meter, you're on. Yes, you're right. It is a propane system, but we're going to clock the meter anyway just to show you what it's like and how that actually works. So we've kind of rigged our system to show you the process and hopefully you do well with that. So what's happening here is that I can skip it if I wanted. My other is, what is your heat fuel content? This is for natural gas. You can look it up online with our chart, or the best thing is go find your natural gas provider and find somebody who can competently tell you what is the actual heat content per BTU per cubic foot of their gas. Because that number will determine drastically how well you're actually doing with your combustion analysis and your BTUs. So for where I live, all of Colorado is around 1050, 1055, but my provider here is actually provided a chart that says, hey, it's a 879. So I entered 879, drastically different from my 1055. So if I scroll down, I can see other options here, one of which is what type of dial do you actually do on your gas meter. So my natural gas meter's got multiple dials, and I can pick one of them and determine how many revolutions or what it is I'm going to be measuring. You have the option of taking this iPad out and hit start and stop, or just take your phone out and just hit find out where the meter is and clock it twice around and go, oh, it's 62 seconds, and come inside and run the test for 62 seconds. It's an easier way to do that without potentially losing connectivity of any of your phones. So I'm going to do the 0.5 dial at the 2 revolutions. I can see it's on propane, and I'm going to capture my manifold pressure. This is saying right now the manifold pressure that we had is now going to be clocked. That's what that is. Again, I know I'm running propane. We're going to act like it's natural gas, so we just have some options to give you an idea of what it means to clock the meter. So my meter's over here just out of the camera, so I can hit start, and I'm now watching the revolutions. It's going to do twice all the way around on that half-foot dial, and on the second time around, I will hit stop. When you hit stop, if for some reason things weren't exactly what you wanted, you hit reset all and then clock it again. If I did tell me that I need to change my orifice, I would clock it twice just to confirm that something wasn't off, or double check that your profile had the right gas inputs and manifold pressures. We just captured what we had, and now we're going to use that as our guideline. So I'm sure you would rather test the system again before you just randomly change out orifices. Again, not something that works for you, or you do have propane, you can just skip all of this. Okay, it's going right almost back up to the second one. We're almost there, and second revolution is finished, and here we go. Great. All right, I missed my mark, unfortunately, but I'm not far off. I'm at 58.8. So what I can do now is actually adjust the manifold pressure to do that, or I can just reclock it. It's a video. I'll show you what happens when we start adjusting the manifold pressure slightly. So I'm here. Notice that I can watch my pressure change, all right? And I need to be at, my target is 9.8. So I can see right here my target is 9.80. And my actual goal is 60,000 here. So I can actually just try to make some slight adjustments. Very slow. Sometimes a little bit of overreaction here. We're letting it settle in, little increments. That's not bad, a little too far probably. Go back a little, all right, and all right, that's pretty good. So we're going to be around 60,000. I'm going to call it at 60, close enough for me. We're going to capture our manifold pressure. Scroll down, I can see all that. Notice at the top though that if I didn't have the right heat content, you could change it afterwards, but it's going to completely throw everything off. In fact, you should be clocking based upon that number to find out what your results are. So if you have something that's way off, make sure your heat content is correct. We're going to hit continue. All right, now we're ready for our combustion measurements. So it's right now already connecting to the analyzer, right? So I get my analyzer, I'm going to put it in place. In, back off a little bit, okay, and hold. All right, so it's going to be connecting and it's going to give me all of my measurements. This can take really sometimes up to a minute, sometimes 2 minutes to be very stable. You'll notice that we're going to start the analyzer. Some numbers pop up instantly and a few others take a few minutes to come in. So I'm still waiting for my excess air and some other stuff to be calculated. You can use the Sauermann directly, as you see right now. I can see my little icon next to them, that's a direct connection. I can use any manometer or any combustion analyzer I want and just manually enter the information. So you are not limited by that. Or I would have never had it in the first place. You would have never been prompted to do this. Okay, I'm looking for my numbers to kind of be stable, no longer jumping around. The system has been running for a while, so it's already stable. I'm just waiting for the device to get acclimated and be stable itself. So together I can see everything is good. I capture my measurements. It's now kicking off the unit. So now we're on to temperature measurements. Notice that I do have my gauge screen over here. A lot of times with the workflow, I forget to kind of check on that, but any of my measurements, I can go over here and I can scroll across and see what those look like. Okay, so I can see that I have my supply and return temperatures temperaturized, and that calculates my airflow based upon those 2 psychrometers. I'm not going to capture, I'm going to hit and let it run, so it's now just part of that thing, so I grabbed it. Now I can turn the electrical meter on. Yes, it's on. I got the meter down here, I'll turn it on, I'll hit the select button, hit the field piece, and I go to my electrical measurements, and you can see that they're ready to be captured. This is a little more in-depth than I really want to get into in the video. My goal is you can see where they're at, see where my numbers are. So I have incoming voltage, I can see that right now. I can hit capture. There's a variety of stuff you can do in terms of what you're connected to. Notice now that we actually have these little info buttons that are showing you what you're connected to and how to get the measurements. We have done our homework and given you the information you're looking for. One of these I just got literally yesterday was this new probe that allows me to get further back into it to find my low voltage or other measurements that I'm looking for or ground without actually putting my hand really into the unit. It's pretty hot in there, so reach out. I can show you where I got this probe. So yes, I got it from Amazon. Okay, I'm going to scroll down, hit submit. The electrical measurements are not part of your score. They do help you keep track of what's really happening, especially for polarity. You want to make sure that your polarity is correct for your low voltage and a variety of other stuff. It's just some basic fundamental stuff to check. Okay, so we have all that. We are ready to benchmark. Once you benchmarked it, then anybody can come back and confirm you are operating within those same benchmarks. Okay, benchmark is complete. So we have all those things clocked in, and I can now do next. I can see I have no system-wide issues, and please complete the testing process to see the score. All right, and so visual inspection. We did this visual inspection in the beginning, and now some of the options have changed. They are now focused on your post-inspection. So before I actually had all other stuff I could do here, and now I actually start with other, or my electrical system is things I may have fixed or challenged or had problems with, and I want to go down to some of the other stuff. So we did this venting system. The venting system now has 3 different options. This is okay. I verified spillage with my natural draft hot water tank. Vent system established draft for 5 minutes. My combustion appliances, my total CAS was acceptable, meaning that there was nothing in that issue that were causing negative pressures. Heat exchanger verified no flame rollouts. Fuel system. The safety system is also verified ambient CO was good levels, even if you for some reason didn't use that process. Verified pressure switch rollout, high limit, all those are good. Heating system was there, operator satisfactory, and some other safety stuff. Operation was satisfactory, and combustion safety. Here's one of the ones that you really want to dig into. A lot of good stuff here, but this is telling me that my system operated, it was less than 100 parts per million, or below 100 parts per million for my CO. Or it had other conditions where I recommend, right, spillage, right, CO above 100 but less than 400. All these options are there. These are things that are going to help you later, if there was a problem, confirm this is the way it was when we found it today, and we recommended repair. Whether or not they did it or not is something you now documented as part of your process. So Today was great. We had no issues and we were well below 100. Okay. If you want to enter some notes, these stay privately between you and your company. They do not go to your client. And once you save your measurements, what happens is now we've now clocked in all of our pressures, our combustion, all those things are now my manifold pressure, the temperatures, all those have been captured and they're now part of your process. If you do not like them or want to change them or realize something was off, maybe your profile was off and you find out something failed, you need to go all the way back, fix the profile, and recapture your pressures and your combustion and your temperatures. All that needs to be happening in the process. You can't just jump around and do other stuff that you can in a cooling workflow. This is very specific. You got to go back, start from the beginning, and work your way back through. And you might have to clock the meter again depending on your pressures. So if you go through this process, everything must have a pass or fail. So everything that doesn't have a measurement is a visual inspection. So my electrical system passed, my control system passed. Things are passing, I can see the numbers as to air filtration. It was under my 500 mark. Indoor equipment condition was good. Condensate drain passed. If you fail something, you definitely want to make a note about it. So combustion appliance zone passed, heat exchanger passed, or whatever I can do visually. Safety system passed, heating operation, combustion safety was below 500 error-free parts per million, and my combustion efficiency was ultra high. We're doing great. Could continue. So now, if I want to stream my data, streaming your data is part of your Premier process. The workflow is part of your Premier process. These are all things that are included in your Premier subscription. So is streaming. If you want to have your technicians stream back to the job site, from the job site back to the office, that's part of that. Now it's included. I can just hit start stream and off it goes, and let the other person know to look for that. If you won't be home soon, we automatically notify you that you actually have a streaming process. If you have somebody who's struggling with trying to finish off their report or have an issue, that's what streaming is most valuable. It doesn't always have to go back to the office. You can go to anybody who's in your company, automatically can stream for free and see the stream, act on it, see their measurements, see their profile. All those things are part of that internally. If for some reason you need to reach out to your distributor, because all they need to have is actually an account, a free account on MeasureQuick. Whoever starts the stream, that's the one thing that has to have a paid subscription. Paid subscription, you can stream to anybody as long as they have MeasureQuick and an account. Very straightforward. Some distributors are loving this process where they can actually get their clients, their dealers, to actually reach out to them and let them know what their problems are and solve them right there in the field when they do their install. All right, we're going to skip that process. I can now generate my report. This is really the meat and potatoes right here, what you're really paying for. We did all of this work, all to get my report. I got 100. I can see where all of my numbers are and how they're working. All of my subsystem review is passing. No other issues. I got zeros on all of my things. It means anything that you would be dinged on above would show up here. Air-free was losses or air distribution losses. And here I can see all my measurements. You see I only did one electrical measurement. Let me move through that quickly. All your electrical measurements would show up here. My CO combustion over here, and weather outside. All of my performance calculations are all part of this process. So this is a great way to keep track of what it is. And this stays forever. I can send this to my client right now. Some people have printers in their car. This is why you actually are using MeasureQuick, is to get this kind of score and all this data. Data doesn't lie. The visual inspection that we did, the pre and the post, all of that is showing up here as all these options that I picked, pre and post. Then you have documentation about what those were. And I got the pictures that I took in my data planes. And there is actually a called report information. I kind of refer to as disclaimer. How did we come up with our score, where it is, who did we use to back our data. And at the top, I can share it with somebody, so I can go to the top and hit share. I can save it in my Dropbox. I can email it to anybody. You can email it to your client if there's something you need to talk about right now. I can email that to you, or email it to the person who's not home. I'm going to just save it to my Dropbox, upload, cancel. I guess I just overruled it. Anyway, got the report. It's now going to my Dropbox. Okay, and it's done. It's back. My last thing is the system vitalization. We want to make sure when you leave, you've confirmed the conditions. So power was shut down, panels are secure, test ports are closed, and the final was you ensured that the system came back on. So it cycled through one cycle, and you said, okay, good, continue. Super important, one last step that you must hit finalize. Otherwise, the data does not always go back to MeasureQuick in the full capacity, the reports, all these measurements. You hit finish, boom, back it goes to MeasureQuick. It also does go to your device, Plan B, so you have it in your device, and it just went back to your MeasureQuick cloud. Anybody can access that on your account that you have. So we're back at the starting point. So wrap up, so we can actually do combustion analysis with a combustion analyzer, or not, or use a third-party analyzer. You can skip clocking the meter. The only thing we really need to do is actually do our gas pressures and making sure we're in line there. You can do a gas pressure only, get a score, generate a report with this new process. We really have stepped up to what you asked for in terms of making sure that your our furnace workflow was as thorough and well thought and stable as our cooling workflow. We are now in the full capacity business of no matter what type of system you've got, furnace or your AC heat pump outside, we're ready to go. So thanks for watching. Reach out in the comments. Love to hear more about how it's working for you or what it is you're looking for in our next features. Have a great day.